right,
real
man.
good.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with this whole coronavirus thing. I see you, Coach Orlando, with your coronavirus beard. I mean, Coach De'Undrae, you've had your beard for quite some time. So how are you guys dealing with this unprecedented, chaotic times right now, Coach Orlando?
Well, it's really tough, but we're getting through it right now. Me and my kids, no basketball-related stuff, but we are doing skill and strength and agility. We're actually doing that at the lake, social distancing, keeping 6 feet apart, mask and everything. But we have to keep these kids engaged because realistically, the second half of the school year, there was no school.
Yeah.
It was just learning. And so where you have a kid that has a 3.0 and feeling good about himself, I'm going into the summer, I'm about to kill, there's no summer. Matter of fact, there's no second half of the school year. So for him or for the young lady or whoever it is, it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? And so I told my coaches, we got to do something with our kids. And so we get them out 3 times a week, and they like it. They get to see their teammates, and we do a Zoom meeting also every winter. So we're keeping them in contact with, keeping them connected, and also telling them what's going on with the school year. When I get information, I pass it on to them. And that's it right now.
How about you, Coach De'Undrae?
We're kind of on the same thing. So what I was doing with the guys for months, we were doing our Zoom meetings, Zoom trainings, and things like that. I also tried to do a couple face-to-face workouts and everything, but a lot of my parents, they don't really feel comfortable right now, and that's understandable. So and that's okay. So we'll just continue to meet on Zoom. And do our workouts there until things open up, until people, feel more secure about what's going on. But Coach Orlando hit it on the nail. Our guys, a lot of our players, male and females, some of these people, some of our players, their brains haven't been stimulated since March.
Right.
So, we just came to like a major abrupt end, and it was over with. So we got guys that's going to be seniors this year. They can't go out on the circuit and get recruited. They can't go out and do the necessities that they need to do in order for them to get to the next level. Right. So it's tough on them. Myself, I had 7 seniors this year, so I was really excited to go to the graduations and the hugs and kisses and all that stuff. And we never got a chance to do that. Right, so that's I feel for the seniors who didn't get a chance to do the traditional graduation thing, and just just the kids in general,
Right. Okay.
They suffering.
Damn, summer car getting broken into. Damn. Okay, cool. I'm just joking. All right, so let's hey, Coach Orlando, where did you go to high school at? Are you originally from the Bay Area?
I like to say that I'm a Bay Area guy. I went to high school at Mission High School in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
I lived in West Oakland the majority of my life, so I had to commute to school every morning, junior high through high school. So
what year did you graduate high school?
94.
Okay, so we're about all around the same age. Okay, cool. So, I mean, Coach De'Undrae, you were obviously kind of in the middle of the whole OAL kind of thing around the same time. Did you want to break down the feel and a bit of the history of the OAL back in the, maybe 88 to 95?
No, 97.
When you went to the state finals. You went to the state finals.
Yeah, Fremont High School. We had some good teams back in the day, but the OAL at that time was very competitive. You had at least 2 to 3 guys on each team that can go, and any given night, anybody can beat anyone. It was very, very, very competitive. School spirit was the biggest thing. School spirit was there. Then you had the neighborhood community rivalries, So
right.
I went to Fremont. We're in a certain part in East Oakland, so we play against Oakland High, and they're from a certain part of East Oakland, And, that rivalry right there in itself. And then we go to West Oakland, and it's East Oakland versus West Oakland. And then, that rivalry is there. So I believe that's one of the biggest things that is missing right now. And I know Coach Orlando, he keeps his teams very competitive.
Right.
This is my second year in the league, and I'm trying to, follow the steps that he does as far as like academics and building a program. And I really want to bring the competition back to the OAL. I want to bring it back to where it should be.
Right. Hey, let's talk about the point guards. I mean, the point guards that came out of the Bay Area around that time. I mean, we had obviously Gary. We had J Kid come out of the Bay. I mean, there's
Jumbo Walker, Gerald Walker,
yeah,
Gerald Walker at that time as
Walker,
well.
right?
Yeah.
Did Brian Shaw? I mean, what program did he come out of? What high school did he come out of?
This one.
There you go.
Yeah. He's in the 80s though. He's more so in the
okay, okay. He's a little older. He a little. But we had great athletes even in other sports that came from, the Bay Area around that time. And so what can other programs do, Coach Orlando, as far as, because recruiting is a big part of the reason why your program, and obviously the coaching and, the rest of your, the way you do, I guess, academics and keep your student athletes at a certain level with academics and obviously sports as well. But is the recruiting process, how is that for you and your program?
Well, the one thing that I'm blessed to have is, I would say, co-head coach. He was my JV coach for a long time, William Luke, and he has his hands all over the Bay Area with coaches, and he has a lot of connects. Of course, I have a lot of connects. And if there's an event, a basketball event, Will's going to be there. If we don't have a game, Will's part of the event. So as much as, I'm the face of the program, Will does a lot of that grinding. Other coaches don't have that support. So I'm lucky. So when I started off, I was out there doing the grinding myself. I would be at all these events, meeting coaches and everything. And then I just got to the point I don't want to do that anymore. So Will does it for me. I'm blessed. When he leaves my program, I'm going to be in trouble. I got to go back to the grind. Right. For the kids, what they got to understand is you have to make yourself attractive to recruiters. And a lot of these kids think we're talking athletically, not talking academically. You might be the best player in the world, but you got a core GPA of 1.5. I can't do nothing for you. So for my kids from day one, I tell them, look, these are the requirements. And I'm not talking basketball. If you want to get a scholarship, these are the academic requirements. And some of the kids look at them, and then after their first year, freshmen, they start to feel themselves, oh, well, I got this 2.6 GPA. I'm like, it gets harder, right? So next year, you're going to have to work hard. That 2.6 might get. And then they just look at it like, so I got to work harder? Yeah. And so that's the big thing for the kids. But once they get to the academic side, there's AAU that a lot of these kids swear by. But what they don't get, once again, you ain't got the grades, AAU don't check grades. So some kids are killing on the circuit. This coach saw me, why is he even calling me? Because you don't have the grades, man. So
We'll jump on the AAU circuit in a bit. But how about you, Coach De'Undrae? Because it's just you. You're not blessed like Coach Orlando to have help. Not yet. So we spoke a little bit about the recruiting experience from your end. So why don't you share it with us right now?
Well, for me, the biggest thing, what I want to do is I want to get our feeder schools, back interested in the Skyline. But then what that means is our middle schools that's in our area, instead of them leaving and going to an Oakland High, which is, like I said, Oakland High is great academic, Oakland Tech, great academic schools as well, too. Nothing wrong with that, but I believe what's on the hill at Skyline, we have to offer the same things that they have to offer as well. Maybe not the same programs, but we have great academic features as well. So my goal is I want to get that feeder program and get the kids going back up to Skyline and get that interest back into Skyline. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm coaching in the AAU circuit, so I'm in the middle of it. I know a lot of the kids and things like that. Okay. So right now, a lot of parents are hooked on their kids going to private schools. So I know me and Coach Orlando talked about this before, and we would like to try to get some of those kids to come back to the OAL. We have academics, the same things, and probably we can help the kids even more being at a public school and being at the situations that we're in versus being at a private school. We could probably help them better academic. So it's just a matter of talking to the parents, convincing them and letting them understand that, Oakland is not as bad as it was. That's the biggest thing. Oakland took a big hit with the crime and things that happened and all that stuff, but this is a completely different Oakland. I can tell you that, completely different.
Right. So both of you guys touch up on a little bit of the AAU circuit. Coach Orlando, do you have your own AAU program paralleling your high school program?
A couple of years ago, I started an AAU program with a good friend of mine, and our main focus group is actually 9, 10, 11-year-olds. And it came around because I was working kids out, and parents were like, AAU is horrible. My son don't even love basketball. He'd rather come train with you. You need to start an AAU program. And I was like, I got my own high school team. I don't have the time to be doing fundraising and all this other stuff.
Right.
But it was a calling, and then my good friend was like, yo, we got to do this. So we started our AAU program. That's for the younger group, but we also piggyback our high school team with it because a lot of our high school players can't afford a real AAU program. And so with our connection and knowing coaching, we're like, hey man, we're gonna go to this tournament. Mom and dad only gotta get a little bit of money, and we're not the big soldiers and all that, but our kids get seen, they get recruited, and some of them, when they have grades, they go to good schools. When they don't have grades, tell them, hey, you gotta go to JC. And we tell them the truth. I tell them the truth as a freshman. Dude, you got D1 talent. You got JC academics. And why you say that? Well, prove me wrong. I'm not mad at you. You prove me wrong, you go get that scholarship. Right. But we gotta see. So I do have an AAU team, but my AAU team doesn't funnel kids to Oakland High. I'll tell you the truth right now. We just completed this incoming freshman class. 6 of my kids are going to Piedmont, 1's going to Tech, and I got 1 coming to Oakland High. And I'm not mad at it. I told them, hey man, I'm gonna love you regardless. Wherever you go, I got you. Now when I play against you, because I put them both on my schedule, playing Piedmont, you gonna catch his L. And so that's the thing. Right. It wasn't designed to get kids to go to my school. I designed it because there was a need. Kids wanted to get better at basketball. They didn't want to get cursed out to do it. They wanted to be top. So that's why I did it.
Nice. Yeah. How about you, Coach De'Undrae?
So before this pandemic hit, that was the plan for our team this year. I was going to turn into a 15 and a 17s team. And I have a semi-pro team, Oakland Townhawks. So we were, going to change over to that and everything as well. And my thing with that, I want to put our guys in position to be seen because like Coach Orlando hit, a lot of our guys don't have the money to play for certain teams. So it kind of affects your recruiting because you do need to be on that. I don't say you need to be, but it helps you out to be on that scene and to be seen by coaches so they can see you. So for me, we were gonna do that this season as well. But like I said, in the past I have been coaching with the Soldiers, Oakland Soldiers in the summer and everything as well. So I was gonna branch off this year and let my guys do their thing, kind of go to the same places that they went to.
Right. And Coach Orlando, you spoke briefly about honesty. How and being honest with the kids that you train, the parents, their parents, and what their prospects are? I mean, obviously, you just really don't know what the future may bring. It all depends on how hard they work and the luck of the draw, whatever the case is. How important is it to just be completely honest with the athlete and their parents?
Super important. I think that's one of the things when kids get to my program, they learn. I tell them all the time, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're ugly, I'm going to tell you you're ugly. If you suck at basketball, I'm going to tell you you suck at basketball.
Right.
But we can work on it. You know, I close that gap. I tell my kids all the time, I'm going to be the most honest person you meet. I tell parents, hey, I have enough friends. I don't need you to like me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking out for your kids' best interest. And then over the time, there's been parents that got mad, but they know I'm really there for their kids and trying to help the kids out. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people have with these kids. These kids are used to be lied to.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's just, sometimes I got to break down the barrier like, hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Trust me, I'm gonna keep it real with you. And then they're like, okay, so I really do have to put in this work for me to achieve what I need to achieve. It might be, and I had a kid tell me, I don't want to play college basketball. I just want to play 4 years of high school and then go off to college and just be a student. No problem. Let's make you the best student and let's get you this 4 years of basketball. If they're honest with me, I'm honest with them, we're gonna have a perfect relationship.
Right. Yeah, Coach De'Undrae, so what is the drawback of gassing up a player, gassing up the parents just to try to get a kid in the program? I mean, let's talk about that, because I know there's so many kids getting gassed up.
Yeah, I see it so many times. So many times these days, you know, you got the AAU coach in the ear, you got the daddy or uncle, or you have so many people in these kids' ears, and they're telling them all the wrong information. You know, so that's the problem. Then now you have a kid who believe all the BS, and then when he comes across a coach like myself or a coach like Coach Watkins, and when we break down the truth, they're looking at us like we're the bad guys, or nah, you don't know what you're talking about. No, we know exactly what we're talking about, because Coach Orlando hit it on the nail. First thing, you have to have grades. If you don't have grades, there's nothing I can do. Second question they're gonna ask is, what kind of character are you? If you're not a good character person, now what? Then this is what the parents fail to understand also. The coach is looking at your parents. So if your parent is out there being irate and all acting crazy, that's gonna have an effect on your child being recruited also. So, like I said, you have so many people giving people the wrong information. I myself, as a player, I've been through the AAU circuit when it was really AAU. I'm coaching AAU. I'm coaching high. So, you know what I mean? So, like, you should really, like, kind of take advice from people that's been there and seen it. Coach Orlando has one of the best pros in the NBA. So why wouldn't you listen to a guy like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you not listen to something like that? So,
Right.
you know, it just baffles me how people have their own agenda, their own thoughts, but haven't never really been there, and that's a problem.
So there are two, talking about the NBA. Let's segue a little bit. We have a couple of high school high prospects that chose to take a different route rather than go to college, like LaMelo, and we have currently Jalen Green. So let's talk about the control that these athletes are taking with their lives, and the direction that they're and the choices that they're making to take another route, to getting into the NBA. Coach Orlando, let's start with you.
Well, to each your own. I mean, the two guys that you mentioned, they're the one-offs. I mean, Mr. Green is special. LaMelo is special. LaMelo, his dad sort of screwed up the situation for him. Like, I think he's the number one pick if his dad keeps his mouth shut. And so, but to get back to your point, I like the fact that people are empowering themselves, but at the same time, it's not for everyone. You know, There's a young man that's number 2 in the nation right now, goes to Bishop O'Dowd, and I was talking about him because I like his game, I like the kid, I know his dad. And I'm like, that would be a bad decision for Kelly if it was to happen today. Because, you know, I think he needs a year of college. And knowing his dad, knowing that they like academics, for him, I don't think that's the right play. LaMelo's dad doesn't care about it. He just wants to challenge. You know,
right.
And so for each person, do what you have to do. Make sure your family can afford for you to do that. Make sure you have a backup plan. But I wouldn't advise it for any of my kids. Dane went to the NBA, but Dane needed college. You know, Allende played for us. He played professionally overseas. He needed college. So it's a lot. I think it's more kids that need college to get to the next level professionally. I'm not saying NBA, but professionally. Then there are kids that are like, nah, for sure your approach is that.
Right. So, Coach De'Undrae, let's segue into the college experience and what that brings, because I know it's more than just the maturity of your game. It's you maturing as a person as well. So let's talk a little bit about the experiences that like LaMelo or Jalen or other kids that may be skipping college may be missing if they don't go to college.
Well, I want to backtrack on one thing real quick. So I believe a top 10 player, those exceptional players, I believe that they should do a year in the G League, learn how to become a professional, learn how to manage money, learn how to deal with life on the road. But these are only the special kids I'm speaking about, like the Jalen Greens, the LaMelo Balls, players like that. Those are the only, and it's only a few, probably every draft or maybe every other year. I don't believe that everyone should do this, because now we go to your point. What college does is it prepares you for adult life, it prepares you mentally. And a lot of times kids coming out of high school, they're just immature. So they need a situation to where they can blossom and become the young man or young woman that they can prepare to be. And the key thing also is you have to get a program, be a part of a program and a coaching staff that can develop. Because if you get into the wrong system where the coach might be on the hot seat, and you know it can be a bad situation. I've seen kids get lost in the shuffle and never develop and never meet the potential that they're supposed, that they can get to. So that part is important. But the joy of college, though, is you get a chance to play with your peers, you're traveling, you're playing basketball, you're going to school, and you're living the college life. College life is like no other.
Right.
That's the brokest time, but that's the most funnest time of your life.
Like that's the purest time. It's like really pure because it's all love.
Exactly. Man, because we all in the same boat when you're in college. I mean, of course you got your rich folks and all that stuff, but man, we all here grinding and trying to get better and graduate.
Right.
So to the 98% of the other players, go to college, get your degree. My son will be a freshman this year at Skyline. He has high aspirations and all that. Yo, go to school. I don't care what school it is. Get a degree. That's all I want. Right. Anything else after that, that's on you. That's your goal. I just want a degree. That's it. And that's what I'm focused on as a parent and as a coach.
Right. And talking about school, upcoming year, I mean, we have pressure from the White House to start school back up. Obviously, that's an issue for certain parts of the country, in particular California. What is going on, Coach Orlando? What is the plan for Oakland schools? Have you heard anything? Update us.
Distant learning, and they say, I think for the first 2 months.
4 weeks, yeah. First 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, so distant learning for the first month, and then they'll reevaluate. Sports, no sports until January, and basketball season will start in March, if we have it.
Because it normally starts right around November, and then we
Yeah.
got winter tournaments to kind of like prep for the upcoming season, which starts in January, mid-January. Wow.
So yeah, but that's the thing that we prepared our kids for. When I found it out, we got on the Zoom meeting, hey man, I still need you guys, even though it's going to be distant learning, you guys need to go to sleep at 10 o'clock. You guys need to wake up at 7 o'clock, because these teachers are going to be, these teachers, when it first happened, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just calling to the fire. Now they've been preparing, so they're gonna have you on their Zoom calls, and you gotta be there at 8:15. Oh man, and then after that, we're gonna have another one at 10. So it's gonna be like school, but you guys are acting like the last 6 months. Man, I ain't gotta get up. I'm gonna go to sleep earlier, start reading some books, get back into. You gotta retrain yourself all over.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be crazy, but this is what we're in. This is our new normal. And I think that's what people are forgetting. Everybody's like, oh, we're going to go back to normal. Hey, right now, this is the new normal. So you got to, and that's our key word for the kids right now, is you got to adapt.
DeAndre, let's talk about communicating with the student and their parents to make sure everybody is on the same page, because that's a lot of kids and that's a lot of parents. And, you know, they have their own, like you said, their own agenda, the stuff that they want to get accomplished for their own kids, and how, you know, how it gets done. It affects the kids that are planning to go to college and play in college. So how are you planning to keep the communication straight, keep it transparent, and all that stuff during these crazy times right now, especially heading into the school year?
Well, one of the things, we have a center communication app that we use. So we're always communicating with that. We also doing weekly meetings as well. So, you know, I want to see these guys' faces. They want to see their teammates' faces. And we just, you know, sometimes we'll just talk about whatever, just have moments or whatever. And then also, if I need to communicate with the parents, like once we found out the rules of we're going to have a season in March, this is what's going on, I instantly, you know, communicated that to the parents, let them know what was going on. Also communicated that to my guys as well. You know, just to bring a little light back, because I know for my guys, they was getting a little down. They was hearing a lot of stuff. We don't know if the season is going, so that's why communication is key. But, you know, just talking with them, communicating with the parents, and just, you know, just keeping that relationship going, even though, you know, we have to social distance and do the things that we have to do. But I still believe communication is key and important, and you have to keep that going with these young men and women.
Right. Okay, Coach Orlando, give us or give your kids a little bit of, I guess, like a little pep talk if they're a little down, a little, you know, obviously if they're a senior, their senior year is being drastically affected. Give them some words of encouragement, a little words of hope, you know, if you can.
I'll take it back to what my assistant coach Will always tells kids: hey, next play, on to the next play. You can't dwell on what's going on right now. If you do, life's gonna pass you by, the play's gonna pass you by. So that's the thing that we've been telling our kids: you gotta adapt. This is the new normal. All right. So distant learning, knock it out. It's your future. Knock out. Drive the car. You know what? I'd rather be in control of my own life than have somebody else. We're all doing it. It's an even playing field. It's not like the rich kids are in school and you're not. We're all. It's a level playing field. So all you gotta do is take the bull by the horns and ride it out. Right. That's it. I'm like I said, I'm honest with the kids. I wish I had like a magic wand to be like, oh, don't worry, it's gone and such and such. I'm not. This is it. And you're gonna have to man up, woman up, and get through it. And hopefully with coaches like DeAndre, other coaches in the OAL, myself, we're there to support you. You know, you got a support system, but at the end of the day, it's you that gotta do it. and nobody can take that.
Right. Okay, Coach De'Undrae, I'll let you step up to the podium real quick. Let's talk a little bit about the hope, your hope, and the for the future of the OAL and obviously the student athletes that are participating in the sports, man.
Biggest thing is trying to funnel these athletes back from going to the private schools back to Oakland schools. I believe we have some good coaches. Coach Orlando's legendary. He's been doing this thing. We got a young coach at McClymonds, Justin. He played from McClymonds. He went to the state championship as a player. So he knows what it's like. Tech, of course. So I believe the ingredients is there to get the OAL back. This past season, we had some very competitive games. The crowds was into the games. The school spirit was there. Like I had some smiles on my face a couple times this year. We got the crowd screaming at their schools, and it was just like how I played in the OAL as far as the energy of the game. Now we just got to get the talent back to the OAL, which I believe we will because we have good coaching and we also have schools that have good academics as well that can give the kids what they need. We just have to just get over this stigma that Oakland is this
a
and
certain
Oakland
way.
Is that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. I cannot express my gratitude for your generosity of your time today. So I'm looking forward to continue to build this relationship, and let's keep talking about how we can bring prominence back to the OAL. And how about just keep Oakland schools moving in the right direction and giving them the right support. So, and shout out to all the great teachers that are out there that's figuring it out, like both of you guys. You guys are teachers, and I'm praying for all of you guys, man, because we need community leadership coming from you guys. So thank you so very much, guys. Have a great day.